Artemis 2 wants to take people to the moon again, but they will return safely. More and more voices are bringing up the issues with the Orion capsule's heat shield, which were visible during Artemis fuss. What happened then? National Aeronautics and Space Administration says there was an unexpected loss of charred layer. Part of the outer material of the shield came off in several areas when the capsule entered the atmosphere. The conclusion of the investigation was that the gases formed during re-entry between the shield tiles did not vent as expected. The increased pressure caused cracks to appear and pieces of material to come off. Such a problem is reminiscent of the Space Shuttle Columbia tragedy, also caused by issues with thermal protection, after a piece of insulating foam broke off from the external tank during launch and struck the edge of the right wing. Why does National Aeronautics and Space Administration insist on continuing the Artemis 2 mission? If there was an anomaly with the shield, their argument is that the data and tests show the crew would have been safe. Even then, they say they've reduced the risk by readjusting the capsule's re-entry trajectory into the atmosphere so that the pressure on the shield is as low as possible. Basically, National Aeronautics and Space Administration adjusted the re-entry trajectory for Artemis 2 so that the heat shield stays in a safer zone in terms of temperature and pressure. For Artemis 3 and the following missions, National Aeronautics and Space Administration promises to make manufacturing improvements so that the shields come out more uniform and more predictable. The maneuver National Aeronautics and Space Administration is referring to is called skip entry, sometimes also called skip re-entry. This maneuver was also used on Artemis Y. The capsule enters the upper atmosphere to slow down, then bounces back to a higher altitude, and then re-enters for the final descent, like the skip of a stone thrown across the surface of water. The maneuver is useful because it gives you more control and extends the distance the capsule can travel after the initial point of atmospheric entry. For Artemis 2, National Aeronautics and Space Administration has modified the re-entry profile, shortening the distance between the initial atmospheric entry and splashdown and reducing the skip portion so that Orion spends less time in the temperature regime where the observed phenomenon occurred, thus shortening the critical period compared to Artemis the Fuss.